He thought he was taking an OxyContin, but it was indeed fentanyl. He died from a fentanyl overdose at a time when there were no health warnings. There were no warnings from the public. It took until public health. It took until later that year. 120 people had died. And you tell me, we have 10 people who suffer from tainted spinach, or we have 20 people who get the flu, and it's all over coast-to-coast warnings. But we have hundreds of people in this country die of opioid overdoses, and we don't have the response that we need. So what is being discussed here today is one of these responses that we need urgently in Edmonton and across the country. He was living out on the coast, and he used harm reduction measures there to obtain clean needles and such. It's speculative to say if he would have injected there, but that's really not what it's about. My story is about telling that people who need these sites, people who struggle with opioid addiction, are people just like everybody else. So this was taken in 2012. He was still struggling with addiction at the time. That's why I say it's an invisible condition for most people. We have this image of how somebody who struggles with addiction looks like, but this was not the case and wasn't the case for our son.
I found out about it when the council agenda was announced, like everybody else, and I was mad. I was real mad because once again, services are being pushed north. And I thought to myself, what are they doing? There's 6 elementary schools within a kilometer of the hospital, and I didn't receive any new information. Like the mayor was asking what the turning point was, but I took the same information, I was left with it, and came to the conclusion on myself with the same information that all of the things that I thought were a bad part of this project are only going to benefit the community. It's only going to reduce the number of needles in the parks, and it's only going to protect the children of my community. And it's difficult to articulate why it will benefit the community because it's not obvious. People need to think about it, and they need to think about where these people are going to inject, because they have to inject somewhere. And not doing it in the schoolyard of a elementary school in the inner city is not a good place to do it. Doing it at a hospital is the correct place to take medication.